And today we are going to show you how to milk a cow from start to finish. Cows thrive on routine. That's will help you get normal milk production. It will help them be happier. It'll help you get more cream because they'll feel comfortable with what's going to happen and not nervous or skittish, and it'll help their behavior in the stanchion as well, or wherever it is you're milking them. As part of that routine, you should bring your cow in to the milking area, not into the stanchion, but into the general area. You know, if you have them in paddocks out in the pasture, you know, bring them closer, or let them see you getting ready for milking, whatever that entails. And the biggest reason why you want to do that is because they will do their business. They'll pee and poop out in the pasture instead of splashing all over and making a mess of your milking area.
Come on, Ollie. So we wash our teats with an iodine dip before. When using iodine, the instructions do state that you want to leave it on for about 30 seconds minimum.
No.
So we dip the teats, and you want to wipe them clean, make sure they're free of all dirt, debris. This time of year it's not a problem, but occasionally in the wintertime it can be a problem of the udder bag. We'll have debris on it, mud, sometimes manure that you want to make sure it's clean and clear. We also want to make sure in the wintertime their hair gets very long. I tend to clip around the teats in the winter just so that I'm not pulling that hair out of them for discomfort. I'm not sure how much discomfort it is, but I imagine it's somewhat uncomfortable, and also then it's just less you have to filter out of a bucket and keeps it cleaner. You always want to squirt your firsts out. I like to do it on the rag as much as possible.
Because they have a higher bacteria count in those first few squirts.
Correct.
So you don't want that in your milk bucket.
Good. A common hand milking technique is I take my thumb and index finger and I pinch off the top of the teat, which then traps milk inside of the teat here. As you can see, then it's full of milk. Then you'd use the rest of your fingers in a sequential form to then just squeeze that out. You want to trap first, then squeeze. You don't want to just randomly squeeze. You will shoot milk back up into the bag.
You can feel that happen.
And you can feel that sometimes shoot back up. So you just pinch with your first two, and then you express the milk that is trapped. Open everything up, and then just repeat.
I'm weird. I can't quite milk that way. It's just not as efficient for me, and it cramps my hand up a lot sooner. I bend my thumb like that and then pinch off of that knuckle and that just seems to work better for me. I can't quite. Maybe I'm not coordinated enough. I can't do it. So that just works better for me. And if you find that this isn't working for you, maybe, yeah. See, she doesn't even like when I do it. So you could.
Sketching.
If we were taking too long, you could try it this way.
So she's all out. Again, what we do, we transfer from one bucket to another. One bucket that never sees the ground, just for cleanliness once you're in the house. So this bucket can clearly go onto a good clean surface. So we post dip as well when there are no calves on the cow, just to make sure all bacteria, so any milk or anything that would be left on the ends of the teat, on the teats, don't grow bacteria. We go ahead and just put some iodine back on there at the end, and we will send her out to pasture with that iodine on there. While they do have a cap on, that's not really necessary, because as soon as you put her back out on that pasture, the calf's going to come running for her and latch onto those teats anyhow. So any iodine you did put on there would be fruitless.
You may have noticed that we did give Holly some grain when we brought her into the stanchion. You could give your cow alfalfa pellets or some hay. We do choose to use grain because Holly came from a production herd of Jerseys, and she was used to getting grain for the first 5 years of her life, and ideally we would love for her to be 100% grass-fed. But we noticed that when she was only on grass, she started losing body condition, which I have a post. You can read more about that and see some pictures. I'll put a link in the description. And basically what she does is she gives the same amount of milk, but no matter what she's eating, but she will take it off of her body and get really super skinny. So we give her just a scoop of grain every day, and you could see we're done milking and she didn't even eat it all. So we choose to do not what's best for our ideologies, but what's best for the health of our cow that's in our care. It is summertime and the flies are, it's August and the flies are pretty nasty. So he's spraying her with a homemade fly spray, which I have that posted as well. I'll leave the link in the description for that. And he's also brushing her. We brush her after milking in the summer to kind of help distribute the fly spray, and we brush her in the winter before milking to get a lot of the dirt and debris from her winter quarters off of her, so it doesn't get into the milk bucket. She tends to she likes to lay in her manure to keep warm in the winter. It's kind of smart, but also kind of gross. So we have a lot more cleaning to do in the winter.
I don't spray the face or head, but I will spray the brush like so, and then apply around the eye, the ears, the muzzle, just for her comfort, because it will still burn, even though it's natural, it will still burn her eyes. This way you can still get it applied around the face and minimize possibly the amount of flies that will land on her face.
Brushing's also good because it's kind of like a big cowlick to them, and it helps bond them to you. And it's a sign of love and affection between you and your cow. It makes them really happy.
She definitely likes it. Her tail.
Yeah,
we are currently brushing her. Her tail goes up.
Her tail will stick up like that. It's a cause of panic, because it's like, is she happy because you're brushing her, or is she ready to go to the bathroom again? Brushing is also a really good way to get your hand on your cow and kind of check out
Sure.
whether or not this is the area right here that is where her rumen is, and that will sink in if she's really hungry, or it will round out if she's getting enough to eat, and that is a great way to help assess whether or not you need to be feeding them more. We have found that the milk stays fresh the longest and tastes the best when you get it inside and chilled down as quick as possible. So it's a good idea to have your milking stuff or your straining stuff all set up ahead of time, so when you come in you can just strain it and be ready to go. We use half-gallon mason jars instead of 1-gallon mason jars for a similar reason. So if you have 2 jars and one from the same day and one you're opening, the milk in this one will taste sour sooner than the other jar that you left closed the whole time. It's got to be from just being exposed to air and stuff is allowing bacteria to start growing more quickly. So if you use a 1-gallon mason jar, that's going to happen a lot sooner, whereas with the half-gallon jars, at least if this one starts to taste off, you still have that one from the same milking, so it helps your milk last longer. For our filter, we use this 2-piece set. You can buy it from Layman's, and it comes with special filtering discs that you can buy separately. They have the weave is very, it's many layers, and it lets the milk through quickly. This strains the milk quick enough and yet efficiently, whereas other straining systems, the milk can go slow, which, you know, the slower it strains, the longer it takes to get in the fridge. And then you can also use homemade ones with like a t-shirt and a rubber band. We've done that before, but it makes extra laundry, and when you throw that dirty rag in the laundry, even if you rinsed it, it still has some milky residue to it, and it was making our clothes stink and all of our other laundry stink, and that was just really gross and irritating. So you just put the filter in, slip the circle disc on the top, and then when we're all done milking, the very last thing that we'll do is we will record how much milk we got in the SmartSteader app. Ollie, today's the 7th, and she gives 3/4 of a gallon. Saved. Done. How easy was that? And it's all graphed. We can add our expenses if we wanted to, if we had any, which we haven't had this month, so. And it shows us our cost. Do we have any notes that we needed to take? It's pretty nice.